The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 72 of The Daily Mother Swole. Today's episode is titled Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Sick Fucking Gains. Let's go over some key points on building muscle and finally shredding fat and getting the body you want. This is for men, this is for women, this is for anyone that needs to build muscle and get bombed, okay? Yeah, you know what the show is all about. It's called The Daily Swole for a reason. Getting swole in life, but getting swole in physical and also in spirit, emotional gains. So let's up our calories, number one. We're going calorie ham. You can add ham to your calories, whatever it takes to increase your caloric intake. Remember, on days where you train, when you're doing strength training, increase your carbohydrates. If you're doing some kind of a split where you're doing higher fat, if you follow my material, you know that I am generally in favor of a higher fat diet. You can drop the fat a little bit more and up the carbohydrates on days when you train because your body, with resistance training, really wants more sugar resources and wants more glucose, glycogen in order to make those sick fucking gains. You know what I'm saying? So up the carbs, increase your total calories in general if you want to gain mass. Whether it's lean or not, you need to increase your calories. Try supersets. Save some time and get more volume, get more stuff done in the time when you're training. That means doing a chest exercise, then going and doing a back one with minimal rest right after, then going back to chest, then going to back again, and then going to chest and going to back. You could do biceps, triceps, you could do shoulders and legs. You could do different ones. You could do peripheral body splits where you're doing an upper body and then a lower body, a squat, then you're doing a bench press. It depends. It depends on what your goal is, depends on how many times a week you can work out, depends on what your body's been exposed to. If your body hasn't been exposed to a lot of different things, you might not have to mix it up as much. I shouldn't say you might not, you don't. If you're new to training and you're new to making gains and you're new to getting big, you don't have to add crazy variety. I think that's where the misconception is that everyone, muscle confusion, muscle variety, you got to mix it up all the time. Not if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, you've never really worked out, everything's mixing it up. Everything is completely new stress. You don't have to be doing crazy different things every time you work out. You have to be consistent and hit the basics regularly for months. You don't need anything new for months. For months. People don't even sometimes do things new for years and get great results. But you got to stick to the basics for a long time before you start thinking about fancy stuff, about isolation, about doing crazy different splits. You need to stick to the basics. Pushing like a bench press, a dumbbell press, a row, squat, deadlift, curl, extensions, like basic stuff. So you can also, if you're looking to increase your gains, if you aren't a beginner, if you're a little more advanced, you could start by increasing your leg days. You could do 2 leg days a week. You could split it up. You could do hamstrings on one day, quads on another, like squats and deadlifts on one day. And on the next day, you could do more like stiff legs. You could do hip bridges. You could isolate glutes and hamstrings or more quads on a different day. Split it up 2 or 3 days in between, Tuesday, Friday, or Tuesday or Wednesday, Saturday. Some kind of split like that. Just to mix up the volume to hit them more frequently, not necessarily do more total volume and maybe get a little bit more, not like crush them not too like balls to the wall murderous leg workouts a week per se, maybe a light and a heavy, splitting up maybe front and back, posterior chain, doing like things like more quad work and then more glute work and then more deadlift style work. You can mix up that way as well. But the frequency of training, doing less time. You can wait too long to do workouts. You can waiting 7 days between body parts can be too much. Usually like 4 to 5 days is a little bit better. Yeah, totally. Thank you for checking out the YouTube channel. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I got so much material I'm putting up today too. So splitting up your leg day, doing it more frequently. Also, trying different splits in the sense of doesn't always have to be chest and triceps, doesn't always have to be back and biceps. You could also do chest and biceps. You could do back and triceps, back and shoulders, chest and shoulders. Don't get stuck with just doing chest. Don't get stuck with just doing chest and triceps. Those are great, but try those other combinations because the biceps is a pulling while a chest is a pushing. So unless you're doing back the next day, if you're doing a day in between, you're doing a leg day after chest, which is a good idea. Let's say on Monday you're doing chest and biceps. Wednesday you could do back and triceps, or Thursday, and you're kind of doing a little mini superset because you're doing elbow extension with the chest, but then you're doing bicep curls, which gets you a flexion movement. So you're kind of doing a superset, but you're not doing a macro. You're not doing chest and back. You're doing a major muscle with like a secondary. So it's kind of like a superset. So it's a good way to hit. It's a good way to hit. Come to think of it, I might start doing that again. Plus, doing chest and biceps is what guys love doing anyway. People love the mirror muscles. But back and triceps is such a good combination because the long head of the triceps actually does work during back movement. So you're kind of hitting triceps anyway. If you didn't know that, now you know. Nigga! Let's see what else I got. The last, in closing, getting a little more Shakespearean on this. Fear not, the gains take time. Fear not, my child, my young Padawan learners, my brethren, my kin, the gains taketh, timeth. The gains take time. I will leave you with that. Marinate in that like a fucking steak. The gains take time. You need patience, and the crazy thing is you need a ridiculous intensity and hard work every day, but you need that calm Zen-like patience for the long term, because it is not going to happen today. It is not even going to happen next week or the next month or in 5 months. Well, you can definitely see a lot of change in 5 months. I'm not going to lie. You can see a lot of change. But my point is, it's a cumulative process. It's going to take months. Okay? No matter how hard you train, it's going to take months. Maybe you're a quick gainer and holy crap, you're just a freak of nature. It's still going to take you months. You're not going to get amazing gains in a month. It's still going to take you 4, 5, 6, 7 months, a year. Everyone's going to do different. So fear not, the gains take time. Is it too much to eat 6 eggs for breakfast every morning? I sure fucking hope not. You're welcome to the guy who wrote the book on 6 eggs for breakfast. Understand that your body, I'm not sure, I'm going to check on the research. Your body can only really process, how many nutrients can your body process at one time? How many enzymes does your body have to break down certain proteins and carbs? Like how many resources does your body have? How many little holes does your body have for things to go into at one time? That came out really wrong, but I think you get the idea. I'm talking about food absorption. That really came out bad. Anyway, nix that. But your body can only do so much at one time. Your body can only do so much at one time. Your body can only absorb so many nutrients. So, if you're eating 100 grams of protein at one meal, you're not going to absorb 100 grams of protein. Nothing's perfect. So you might be getting 30, 40. Your body might only absorb a certain amount. So, 6 eggs, 6 grams of protein. It's like 36 grams. Yeah, any more than that is like, 8 eggs, 9 eggs. It gets a little ridiculous. But of course, the more muscle mass you have, and everyone's different. You're still getting calories, still getting fat, still getting other nutrients. But, you're only going to probably use so much at one time. I'm not sure what the latest they do research on that kind of stuff all the time. I was having this conversation yesterday or something on Periscope when I was eating outside. But they do research on this kind of stuff all the time. So I'm not sure what the latest, but good question. If you find anything out, let me know. I'll have to check into it if I remember. The gains take time. Take those little advices to heart and keep the pressure on. Pound, pound, pound. I'll say for a few minutes after on Periscope. That's a good question. I'll keep here for that on Busker. Is protein the most important thing? It's important for rebuilding muscle tissue, but after a workout, it's more important to get carbs than protein. It's more important to get carbs, or at least have carbs after a workout. So protein, you should be getting 0.8 to a gram per pound of body weight if you're trying to build up. But that's just to ensure that your body has enough to grow. You might not use all of it. Nothing's 100%. Protein's important, but if you're not getting carbohydrates, you're not going to be repairing, you're not going to be building strength. So what about tendon repair in terms of what? Like ligaments or literally tendons? Sauna after workouts is going to help. It feels nice. It's going to make you sweat. I don't really know what the real science behind a sauna is, to be honest with you. It's good to sweat. Literally tendons, like protein. Tendons... What? the actual material of tendons. I know ligaments are more collagen. I think there's probably collagen-esque fiber. I don't know. I'm not. You know what? That's a good question. Like the actual cellular breakdown of what's in a tendon. Fascial, connective tissue. Connective tissue, fat's really good. If you want like joint, like health and joint, and joint pain and skin quality, collagen, like just like things like bone broth, drinking like grass-fed or like free, wild, grass-fed, bone broth is amazing. Bone broth is a fucking miracle food. Collagen, those types of things. So fat, yeah, quality fats, pastured eggs, grass-fed beef, grass-fed butters, coconut oils, those things. Fats are very good for joints. But in terms of tendon repair, tendons and ligaments get poor blood flow, so they take a long time to repair no matter what. Okay? I'll say for a few minutes after live, shutting down the YouTube and the SoundCloud, iTunes, and the Stitcher. If you haven't checked out my YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, hook it up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Swolenormous. I have all these videos. I have hundreds of videos. My Raw series, which is fantastic. Eli has his own channel, so I got a lot of different stuff on there. Check it out. I will talk to you all mañana at 12 noon Eastern Time for episode 73 of the Daily Mother Swole. Excuse me, hiccup. Daily Swole. Here we go. Ho! Gratuitous flexing, cracking. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.